The following program is in described video for the visually impaired. It is also suggested that you listen to it under the influence of heavy drugs. Thank you.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first Old Man Rants. Today's episode is going to be about improper use of terms. I feel like a good place to start would be the terms laminar flow and hood. So, one thing I'd like to get out of the way is laminar flow. Laminar flow is reserved to be used for a very specific set of conditions. To achieve laminar flow, it takes a ton of calculations. There's so much involved. It requires like a foot thick filter with special metal straws implemented within the filter. And it's not just that either. You have to have equations that provide you with a very specific size of cabinet with baffles, specific size baffles, specific positioning of baffles, the equation of airflow to the filter itself. It's crazy. You're not going to achieve laminar flow with a HEPA filter or a furnace filter or anything like that. Not even close. Commercial FFUs don't even provide laminar flow. They don't claim to either. If you look at their websites for their specs and all of that, they don't claim to provide laminar flow because they don't. So even the $1,000 FFU that's very fancy and the quote-unquote industry standard still doesn't provide laminar flow. Also, those that claim that they provide laminar flow, and I'm not talking about the commercial FFUs, I'm talking about people with the do-it-yourself at home, make it out of a tub and a filter and a blower of some kind. They're definitely not providing laminar flow. And the claims that they do is ridiculous. And also the claims that they can prove this laminar flow with a flame test or a smoke test or a particle reading meter is insane. There's no way they're providing laminar flow, and there's no way that those tests are going to showcase that they do indeed provide laminar flow. As far as I'm aware, the only tool out there that will showcase laminar flow would be an anemometer. And an anemometer reads CFM, which is your rate of airflow, and it not only will measure the CFM, it will also measure variances within that CFM. Now, if there's another piece of equipment out there that also measures these same things, then I will take that correction any day. But as far as I'm aware, that's the only tool that's going to prove laminar flow. Another term that I take issue with is hood. I don't know why we as a community call anything that provides air a hood, but that's simply just not the case. A hood is an implement that attaches or is attached to an FFU or a broke boy fan filter unit or whatever. But basically, it provides walls so that you have a contained space to work within. Either that, or it's built into the air filtration device itself. Those are the much more expensive ones that are used in like chemistry labs and microbiology labs and such. And those new cost $16,000, $30,000, $50,000 kind of stuff. You're definitely not getting that for cheap. But you can have a hood implement for an FFU when it's used in its vertical orientation. It basically sits atop a structure that has 3 walls and uses your work table as a floor, basically. And that is a hood. Just like the scientific ones that have it built in is also a hood. But a wood cabinet with a fancy filter, or a box fan with furnace filters, or a Sterilite tub with a HEPA filter and a blower attached. Those are not hoods. They're just not. And I don't know why we keep calling them that. But that ain't it, Chief. Now, there's some other terms like sterilized and sanitized that are heavily misused as well. You do not sterilize something by spraying isopropyl alcohol on it. You don't sterilize something by spraying 10% bleach water on it. You're sanitizing those things. Simple as that. Also, the term mycologist is thrown around like it means nothing. A mycologist is a scientist. Somebody who, at bare minimum, has a degree in microbiology and specializes in fungi. Now, you don't have to have a doctorate to be a mycologist. You don't even have to have a master's to be a mycologist. But you need to be degreed in at least microbiology, focusing in fungi. Now, I don't have a problem with cultivators calling themselves amateur mycologists or citizen mycologists or anything like that, but when you claim you're a mycologist and that's the only term you're using, you're not being honest unless you're degreed in that field. Now, you can say you dabble in mycology. That would be honest, because if you're a cultivator and you're cultivating mushrooms, you're definitely dealing with mycology. But to call yourself a mycologist is a whole different thing. And last but not least, the term no-pour. I don't know who came up with this term, but it's pretty silly. I mean, you definitely pour, right? It may be pre-sterilization, but you're still pouring it. I think a much better term would be something akin to pre-pours or something along those lines. But I think it's kind of ridiculous that after all these years, we're still calling something that you pour a no-pour. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to conclude the first episode of Old Man Rants. Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like, please like the video, subscribe, make a comment. Anything helps out. Until the next episode, Happy cultivating.